mom on a farm. I'm Marcy. Today I'm going to talk about how I've done meal planning the past 25 years since I started cooking for just a husband and then added our family to have 10 children. And then now what I do as they've gone off to college and we just have 6 or 7 left at home. I can think of 4 different ways that I've done meal planning over the years. And I can tell you what doesn't work is it's 5 o'clock and I'm asking what are we going to have for dinner. That just doesn't usually work for me. I will tell you the 4 ways real quick and then I'll go into detail about each one. So the first one is each night is a different type of cuisine. Then the second plan is where I have a child is in charge of dinner each night and they pick what's for dinner. The third way is going to the grocery store and seeing what's on sale, and then I can make dinner of whatever I see that's on sale. And the fourth way is going through my house and seeing what needs to be used up and making dinners with that and planning the meals for that week. The first way is to have each night assigned to a different type of cuisine. So for example, Sunday is soup, any type of soup, and Monday is American, and Tuesday's Mexican, Wednesday's Italian or Chinese, Thursday's breakfast, Friday is a pizza, and Saturday's leftovers or sandwiches. So I made this little table off. I'll show it to you. It's a little bit easier to see on my website, so you might just want to look at it at my website, but I'll attempt to show it to you. I just listed all the different types of soups and Mexican or Italian foods so that you can realize how many there are of each type. And before I show it to you, I'll just explain that it worked really well for my husband when he was in medical school and didn't know what we'd had for dinner which night and everything. He'd be going through the fridge and like pulling things out to take to his lunches, and he'd be like, oh, how long has the spaghetti been in here? And so I just made up this schedule so that he could always be like, okay, spaghetti would only be on Wednesday night. So that way, if it's Saturday, he knows how old it is. That was really, really helpful for him. He never had to ask me how old the food was. It also just helped me think of I don't have to think of like, what are we gonna have for dinner tonight? There's so many options. She's like, okay, it's Tuesday, it's Mexican. I can either look at a list or just think of what Mexican foods do I have in mind right now. And I also came up with this because my husband was complaining that I had Mexican all the time. And so this way I know that I only did it once a week and I wasn't having it all the time because I do love Mexican a lot, but he liked Italian. So this way it was pretty fair and even. And it did give a good variety. So I wasn't always just thinking of Mexican 3 nights in a row. So Sunday is soup. So I listed like potato, chicken noodle, creamy chicken. I can't even read it backwards. Oh, creamy chicken and rice soup. There's taco, enchilada, pumpkin chili, tortellini, wonton, egg drop, broccoli and cheese, onion, tomato, ham and bean. These are just some. So you can add your own. I'm sure you all have lots of favorite soups. And sometimes I feel like I'm in a soup mood, and so that like we're having soup every night. And so if I follow this, then I realize it's only once a week that we're actually having soups. And you're not recycling the same. Like sometimes I think, let's have soup for dinner. That's all I can think of is chicken noodle. It's like, are there any other options? And there are. When you sit down to brainstorm, there are lots of different kinds of soups that are also different, like Chinese or Mexican or American soups. So for American food on Mondays, then there was meatloaf, hamburgers, chicken and rice, fried chicken, meat and potatoes, macaroni and cheese, baked potato bar, kebabs, hot dogs and chili, things like that. So that's American foods. I'm sure you can think of lots of American foods. And then Mexican, obviously tacos, burritos, I can't read backwards, taquitos, enchiladas, beef enchilada casserole, fajitas, chimichangas, taco salad, all those, lots of Mexican ideas. And then Wednesday is either Italian or Chinese. We like both of those, so you just list those options. Stir fry, pot stickers, egg roll, sweet and sour pork, chow mein, tofu. Then Thursday is breakfast. So there's pancakes, and then I listed lots of different kinds of pancakes. So there's multigrain, blueberry, chocolate chip, pumpkin, ricotta cheese, or waffles, or French toast, or quiche, a frittata, steel cut oatmeal, yogurt parfaits, different ways to make eggs. And sometimes even resorted to like cereal with peanut butter on it. The kids like that. It's just like a Harvest Flakes type of cereal. Biscuits and gravy. Anyway, breakfast on Thursday And Friday was pizza. It was a homemade pizza. And also I kind of think of there's only one way to make pizza, but when you actually think about it, there were lots of different kinds. There's pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, chicken Alfredo, calzones. And in the calzones, we used to like everybody make their own. And that's really fun. You can make ricotta cheese, pepperoni, pesto, sausage, 3 cheese. And I also make strombolis, and I count that as a pizza night also. So Friday's homemade pizza. Saturday would be any of the leftovers, if you have leftovers from any of these meals, or sandwiches. And there's grilled cheese, BLT, pimento cheese, egg salad, chicken salad, cucumber, roast beef, turkey, French dip. Lots of kind of sandwiches, even hot or cold, depending on the weather too. So that is my easy meal planning guide for doing a different type of cuisine each night, and how that kind of narrows down your choices to just one type of meal, instead of thinking of all the different things that you have. And you can find that on my blog, and I'll put the link in the description. So the second thing, way of meal planning, is assigning each child a different night and letting them pick. So right now we have 7 kids at home, but one is home for a semester off of college, and so she hadn't been in a rotation last semester. So I just have the 6 kids in a rotation, and then myself to get tonight also. So we have Caitlin on Monday, and I don't know why they got this order. I think it's because of how it used to be with the older kids when they had a night, and then some of their buddies just took over their nights as they left the house, and they were picking because of what other activities or babysitting things that they had on which nights. But I had Caitlin on Monday, and now Tilly's on Tuesday, McKenna's on Wednesday, Samuel's Thursday, Anderson is Friday, and Thomas is Saturday. And you can do them in any order. You can do them like youngest to oldest, oldest to youngest, or just pick whichever day that they feel like doing, or whatever mood that they're in. I tend to cook a little bit heavier on Mondays, and I think that's why I had always put American food on Monday. It was just kind of like a big meal, like a meat and potatoes kind of meal. And at the end of the week, it was more of a lighter pizza or stromboli or something. Anyway, that's just me. I have more energy at the beginning of the week. So I liked Caitlin, and I'd had Kylie first because they're great cooks and they want to cook rolls a lot. At least Kylie did. And so I always try to do the American on Mondays. She was home. She was able to cook us a good meal, but you can do it however you want. So they are able to cook it and choose it and cook it. Sometimes I ask them during family council on Sundays, what meals do you want to make each night this week? And we might discuss our plans, and if there's like a certain crock pot meal we need, or a certain, outside meal that we're going to have, if we're going to be outside raking leaves or something we want to cook over the fire. And I also have them written on our board, and I'll show you that. Let me just clarify that I used this until I had kids that could help cook. This is when I was doing all the cooking until I had like 6 or 7 kids, and they were able to help more and plan their own meals. And so then when I got enough kids that each one could have their own night, I haven't really followed this, because then they would be stuck to only learning how to make American food or only Mexican food. So we don't really follow this anymore, but I give them some ideas. So this side I have my grocery list. This side of our whiteboard hanging on the wall, then we have some ideas. And a lot of this is stuff that I might have gotten the food for already. I might already have one in the freezer that I want to use up. Or I might just think, hey, it's going to be a super duper cold day. I want to do a roast or whatever it is. We have way too much cheese, so I want to do crock pot macaroni and cheese one day. So here's some ideas that they can look at, or they can just come up with anything that they're in the mood to make themselves. And then just to show you the rest of our whiteboard, we have like our schedule up here, what we're doing each day, and the grocery list, some meals as I think about them. And these are some like jobs we want to do this week, and some long-term jobs, like make a mud kitchen for Tilly. Anyway, that is our board. The third way is going through the grocery store and seeing what's on sale. I feel like this is a pretty simple thing to do. You just walk through, and if you see like a roast on sale, then you think, great, let's have roast, and maybe grab some potatoes and carrots if you need those. I might see buns on sale and think, hey, sloppy joes would be great. And all this time I'm thinking about the weather also. Like this time of year, it can be hot or cold because it's fall. And so I'm like, okay, great, that really cold day, we're gonna be working in the woods, and I'm gonna put a roast in the crock pot, so when we come in the house, we'll have something warm to eat. And then we'll be like, or that hot day, then we will want to have like some sloppy joes or something, a little bit more summery type of feeling. So I kind of consider the weather like that. And in general, I cook at the oven all winter long, and in the summer I don't use my oven because it's too hot and it heats up the kitchen a lot. We don't have air conditioning. So in the summer I kind of stick to salads, sandwiches, things I can use on the griddle, like grilled cheese or pancakes or something, like the sloppy joes, things in the crock pot that are lighter, kind of like a maybe like a white chicken chili or something that's kind of a more summery type food because you put cheese and sour cream in it. Anyway, I'm always keeping the weather in mind and kind of eat towards the weather. But back to the grocery store, you just pick up things that you see that are on sale and kind of combine meals if you need to. I might see a bag of beans and I'll cook the whole thing in the crock pot, and then I can pull out half of them and make a Cobb salad with that. Cobb salad is another great summer meal. And then with the rest of them, I'll make an enchilada soup, or you can make black bean burgers with it. So I do try to see, if I buy a whole bag of beans, what are 2 or 3 meals I can make with them. Or if you find like a 3-pack of ground beef, it's kind of the same way. You know, if your family's small, then you can make 3 different meals with them. You can make meatloaf with one, and sloppy joes with one, and tacos with one. And so it's cheaper to buy in bulk like that. So I might grab something like that and think of 2 or 3 meals that I can make with it. I hope this helps. Okay, so for the fourth thing is kind of similar, is going through your kitchen and finding things that need to be used up. For example, tonight I was looking around the kitchen to see what we needed to use up so I can make something for dinner because we're getting really low on groceries. And I saw like a package of a few corn tortillas and a few of these whole wheat flour tortillas. So I just thought I could make a casserole with them. So I'm always just trying to get rid of things, you know, before they go bad, and enough it doesn't have to match. Like usually we just use like all one kind, or I'll make enchiladas with the whole wheat tortillas and a casserole with corn. But I just figured I'll just rip them all up, and then I put cream cheese and some chicken and a little bit of milk, and some green chilies and black beans. I just happened to have a crock pot full of black beans because I was going to make soup, so that I can add that to this chicken mixture. And I was making the black beans for soup, but whenever I do, I just cook a whole crock pot full. That way I can stick some in Ziploc bags and put them in the freezer, or I'll have them for Cobb salad, which we can make, you know, like tomorrow night, and then we can use the rest in the soup. So I just always have, you know, try to get a whole bunch, cook them a whole bunch at the same time. And then I'll just layer this. I'll put the tortillas and then the mixture. This mixture can be anything. Like I said, I just happen to have some black beans in the crock pot, so that works to add. You can do chicken or ground beef. You could probably even do like old sloppy joe meat if you have some of that left. You can do any, you know, enchilada sauce, or just some seasonings like cumin, onion, garlic, chili powder. You can add a little bit of milk or cream cheese if you want to make it a white sauce, or you can add tomatoes or tomato sauce if you want to make it a red sauce, or some salsa. So just whatever you have, you know, like left in your fridge. Sometimes I'm excited to use the rest of a salsa jar or some tomatoes that are about to go bad, and I'll make it more of a red sauce. So we'll just layer this up, and that'll be our dinner tonight. This is what it looks like at the end. So I put the corn tortillas on the bottom, and then the meat mixture, and then ripped up the flour tortillas into tiny pieces, and the meat mixture and some cheese on the top, and I'll stick some foil on it and bake it in the oven. It's an easy casserole. You can also use crushed stale like tortilla chips or anything that you need to get rid of. I'd also go through the freezer and see if there's anything in there that needs to be used up, or that just sparks my interest of making a dinner with. And so actually, let's just go look. Let's go see, and we can see if we can find anything to make for dinner tomorrow night. Our freezer is back here in this lean-to. So let us see. Alrighty. Ice cream is not an option for dinner. Ooh, we have lots of cranberries. And so one of our favorite meals with those is to have steel cut oats in the crock pot with cranberries in it. Those are really good. I got a half a bag of meatballs, so that's easy. I can do pasta with red sauce and meatballs, or pasta with white sauce and meatballs. I always have a lot of veggies from our garden, and I can always make a pumpkin chili because I used the pumpkin, the squash, zucchini, bell peppers. Let's see what else. Pumpkin, squash, zucchini, bell peppers, tomatoes. Is that all? The 5 things that can go in our pumpkin chili. So as long as I have some ground beef, then that would work. So anyway, that's just an example of looking through your freezer. This, I think, was a pesto sauce the one time I made pesto, so that could be definitely used up also. Lots of creativity in your freezer. Those are the 4 ways that I have planned meals over the years. You can also combine them, and I often do that. So if it's the children's turn to make dinner, then I will help them go through the house and say, what do we need to be used up? So they learn that skill also, that we've got like 4 loaves of bread. So maybe we should have grilled cheese sandwiches tonight or whatever, and help them get some thinking done like that. And also at the grocery store, if they're walking around with me, I say, what would you like for dinner? Do you see anything on sale? Do you see anything that sparks your interest? So you can mix them, match them like that. I hope this helps you with meal planning. Feel free to ask any questions that you need or any more tips. Share them with me or email me with questions, Marcy@singlemomonafarm.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.